Good morning, Shmuel. It is Sunday, and I need to talk to you about what's going on in Israel.
את הדגל של הדת, של המסורת, של האמונה, יחד עם הדגל של הלאומיות.
Right now, all around the country, people are protesting. People are protesting on the left, and people are protesting on the right. Due to that, I think you're not going to hear about this in America because it's not very polarizing. Even if you're in a Zionist environment like Mom, I don't think she's going to be hearing about this at all because it isn't about Palestinians at all. It's about the judicial system and the checks and balances of Israel. What is happening is a new government, again, has recently been sworn in. That government is run by Bibi Netanyahu, and it is a right-wing coalition, which means a bunch of people have to get together and agree to run the government. There have to be at least 60 members of Knesset out of 120 that agree to run a government together. That's how it works in Israel. And these guys are on the right wing. And Bibi, who has been prime minister for many, many years, was reelected. And he unfortunately happened to commit some crimes. Oh no. Bibi doesn't want to go to jail. He's very, very adamant about not going to jail. So he decided to make up some new rules. A few years back, he decided if you're prime minister, you shouldn't be thrown in jail. So he decided to get reelected to stay out of jail. So far, he's been successful at that. Possibly because of this and possibly due to other reasons, his party is now trying to destroy the judicial branch of Israeli government. What does that mean? I will tell you because I wrote down a list of notes about what exactly they're proposing. First of all, the acting government in Knesset is the one who will select all of the judges going forward. Yes, the Supreme Court judges will be selected by the ruling party. That would be as if the Republican Party, if they were in power, would select all the judges on the Supreme Court with no other say of anyone else. Or the Democratic Party, doesn't really matter. They also, like right now, the Supreme Court judges in Israel can strike down certain legal rulings. This move would require all 15 judges to agree to strike down any law. So instead of having a majority of judges on the Supreme Court make decisions, you have to have all 15 agree with each other, which, as you know, is very difficult to have total agreement of 15 different people who have very different political leanings. They all have to agree to strike down any laws that the acting government makes. Also, if they actually do manage to strike down a law, if all 15 people can agree, then the acting government can re-legislate any of those laws with only a 51% majority. So only half of the government has to agree in order to reinstate a law that the judiciary has struck down. So in other words, the government, whoever it is, right now it's a right-wing government, but it doesn't really matter because if it's a left-wing government, this will still be true, will totally select the judges, make all the decisions about the laws, and will basically destroy any power that the judiciary has. Now, you may have heard the term checks and balances. As you can tell, if you have the executive branch in charge of the legislative branch, you don't have checks and balances anymore. So that would probably lead to Israel being even less democratic than it is already, not to be a little bit snarky, but yeah, not good. Really, really not good. And like I mentioned, it's so not good that people are actually protesting on both the right and the left. This is not a party issue. This is a corrupt government issue. And we'll see if the protests can do anything. I mean, it's Monday. Oh, I lied to you. It isn't actually Sunday. It's Monday. They're going to be doing a reading in the court, and they're going to be making some more decisions, and we're going to have to just wait to see if this actually passes. In the meantime, our Rabbi Otniel has co-written some angry letters with some other rabbis, trying to dissuade the government, tell them that we religious right-wing people don't believe in this. And I will show you a clip from the protest that we attended in Efrat, which is really a very, very right-wing place. It's settlement. Everyone there is religious, and everyone there is right-wing. And they're out in the streets protesting this move from the right-wing government, which is really fascinating. So as you can see, there we are protesting along with all the other religious people wearing kippahs, people wearing skirts, people who live in settlements, people who are voting for the right-wing government, who, by the way, did not mention their plan to do this in their party platform at all. This is kind of an unexpected thing for right-wing voters as well. And I personally have had
very bad negative experiences with protests in the past. At my university, Columbia University, there were protests almost daily, and I've had very bad experiences there, mostly with people who seem to just leave their brain at home when they come to protests, seeing things in completely black and white, shouting, being extremely rude. I once had somebody at a protest rip a sign out of my hand and tear it into pieces in front of me. That is the kind of attitude that I've seen at liberal protests, at least in America. I think it might be an American problem because Americans sometimes can be so annoying about being loud and idiotic in crowds. I mean, it's just really awful. But I would say that this protest was a very positive experience and is also the first right-wing protest I've ever attended, whether in America or in Israel. And we had a very interesting experience where the police came up and they got out and we turned off the music and the police made an announcement and they were like, hey everybody, we're happy you're here protesting. You have the protesting permit and we, are just stopping by. And we want to ensure everyone's safety. So make sure that you don't go out into the road, whether you want to talk to somebody who stops in their car or not, it's just not safe for you. So he just gave a little speech about that. And then once he finished, the main protest organizer took back the microphone and he said, thank you so much. And we want to just give a round of applause for our police who protect us. And everyone clapped, and there was a feeling that the police was on our side, which is, again, very much in opposition to policemen who were working the protests in New York that I attended, who were ignored or given side eye, like, who are these guys? And certainly did not feel that they were appreciated by the protesters, let's just put it that way. And yeah, it was just really fascinating and one of our first real forays into Israeli politics on the ground. So we really, I think, learned a lot and enjoyed our experience. So that's it. I'll see you next week.